You may remember my theory video about Baylan and Shin and how their names are connected to wolves in Norse mythology. Dave Filoni is obsessed with wolves, and Marrok is another one. In Arthurian mythology, Marrok was the name of a knight transformed into a wolf by a witch, coincidentally called Morgan. And of course in this show, there is Morgan Elsbeth. And this has led a few to assume the once inquisitor turned mercenary is someone we know, tricked by Morgan Elsbeth, maybe using Night Sister magic. But I don't think so, guys. I don't think this is the answer, but I do think I may have cracked it. Today I want to talk about the character of Marrok from Ahsoka. According to the Star Wars databank, he was once an inquisitor for the Empire, and a mystery that's not been answered is how is he still alive all these years later. He is now a mercenary alongside Baylan and Shin, working for Morgan Elsbeth. He is a proficient lightsaber duelist, in fact, a bit too proficient to be just a mere inquisitor. Now I have a theory as to how he survived all these years. I don't think Marrok was a typical inquisitor. He was Vader's secret apprentice. That's right, a canon version or iteration of Galen Marrok. Even the names are similar, Marrok, Marrok, Starkiller, but I think in canon, they might be more subtle with this. For one thing, I will say I believe most of our theories surrounding this character before the Ahsoka show are wrong. I don't think he's someone we know, and I don't think they're ever going to reveal who's under that mask. Because it doesn't matter what species this person is, what matters is their significance, their role. And we know from interviews with Rosario Dawson, as well as the trailers, that he's gonna duel Ahsoka again. But it's not just gonna be an ordinary duel. This isn't Ahsoka fighting one of Thrawn's assassins. It's Anakin's Padawan versus Darth Vader's Padawan. A very interesting duality, a representation of Anakin before he turned to the dark side, through his Padawan Ahsoka who walked away from the Order, versus Marrok, who according to this theory is someone who Vader raised as his own. An inquisitor that was given special attention, trained to be more than just a Jedi killer. But the reason they use the word inquisitor is because that may have been his purpose as well. He may have been called upon for special tasks, taking out special Jedi, and not categorized with the others, who were called the brothers and sisters. It explains why Marrok is very well trained, and more skilled than your typical inquisitor. But the question is, where was he during the original trilogy? Could it be a situation like Baylan and Shin, where during this time period they just vanished? But unlike Baylan, who went his own way after Order 66, maybe Vader gave this person a choice, what they call the Inquisitor's choice, where maybe during Anakin's raid of the Jedi Temple, he took on a remarkably proficient Padawan, one with a high midichlorian count, who showed a lot of promise, who could be turned to the dark and used as a weapon, maybe one stronger than any of the other Inquisitors. And I do want to go back to the Galen Marrok thing for just a moment, because it was revealed in the Ahsoka credits that Sam Witwer did some voice work for the character. Now this could just be a coincidence, because Sam has done various voices of stormtroopers and other characters over the years, and some familiar other names appear in the credits too, like Matthew Wood, the voice of Grievous. But if there is a connection, then this theory does hold some weight. I wouldn't be surprised if there is more to Marrok than what meets the eye. Marrok is intriguing to many fans, simply because we're amazed an Inquisitor exists this far down the timeline. And this begs a question. If Marrok really was a special Inquisitor, used for very specific tasks, and was trained in a different way to the others, did Vader see him in a different light? Because Darth Vader notoriously hated his other Inquisitors. He treated them awfully. In his mind, they were a cog in the Imperial machine. They didn't have individuality. They were nothing, they were dirt. Pests who had to carry out his orders. Ones he believed always got in his way, and so he had no issue just killing them off, torturing them, if they didn't get the task done. And we've seen this in various content, comics, the Kenobi show, and there is some proof in the Ahsoka premiere that Marrok was trained in a special way. He only ignites his second blade of his dual lightsaber when he needs it the most. He doesn't just begin with it as default. And this is something the Grand Inquisitor would do as well, because he had a mastery of various forms of lightsaber combat. And if this theory is true, if he was trained directly under Lord Vader, then does this mean his ideals are still Imperial? And I only ask this because I wonder how he felt when Vader died. Of course, we know as an audience that Anakin was redeemed in the end, but does Marrok know that? And does it make a difference? If he knows his master's dead, is he just trying to carry on the Imperial legacy? Is he working with the other remnants to bring back that order, that vicious, tyrannical empire? I think so, and I think he sees Thrawn as a new Palpatine, as a new hope for that order in the galaxy. And maybe just like Baylan, he is very attracted to power, an ultimate form of power that Thrawn is promising, but I don't think he'll deliver. And in this way, there is a tragedy to the story of Marrok, everything he's been through. And I guess I'd love to know who's under that mask, but I'm starting to think we're wrong and it doesn't really matter. It's about who he symbolizes. He's a dark apprentice. In the same way I theorize that Shin is like a dark side version of Sabine, full of insecurities, lost, shaky, something of a wild spirit in the Force. I've always thought Inquisitors were really cool, but Marrok is something else. We know Dave Filoni did so much with the Inquisitors in Star Wars Rebels, and I'm just so glad we're getting one in the Ahsoka series. In a way, I think Marrok surviving caused him to see a power vacuum. He saw the other Inquisitors fall, he saw the Empire fall, and now he may want power for himself. Some fans are still adamant he might be the 8th brother, but I don't think so. The 8th brother died, the fighting style's a bit different, and we can tell Marrok is more of a precise duelist. I remember a few years ago during the run of Star Wars Rebels, Dave Filoni talked about Darth Vader, and even Timothy Zahn, when writing his original Heir to the Empire, he said he wanted to make a character that wasn't like Vader, but both him and Filoni have been fascinated with Anakin and the legacy of the character, both during his time as Darth Vader, his redeemed era afterwards as a Force ghost, and also before and everything in between. In making a character like Marrok, who might have been a secret apprentice, we're getting a very different take on Darth Vader, because inadvertently, even though we haven't seen Darth Vader in a flashback just yet, and I do think that is something we will see, his presence is being felt, both in terms of Ahsoka, Anakin's former Padawan, and the fruits of what Anakin did as the Sith Lord. In the same way Baylan is going to bring up Anakin in his duel with Ahsoka, at least according to the trailers, so too we might see a conversation between Marrok and Ahsoka in their second duel. The one on Corellia was awesome, and these little details about the way he fights were just indicators of what's to come. There was a lot of foreshadowing, and go and check out my full episode breakdown if you want to hear more about that. The new character poster of him is also amazing. I'm so glad we finally got this. We also have a new one of Hayang, and of course, Chopper. But what do you guys think? Do you like the theory that he could have been Lord Vader's apprentice? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.